Yellowstone National Park sprawls across the heart of the American wilderness, a realm where the land is sculpted by ancient forces and winter reigns with unyielding authority. Here, the earth exhales in great plumes of steam, rising from hidden fissures beneath a blanket of snow, as if the world itself is alive and restless beneath the ice. Spanning over 8,900 square kilometers, Yellowstone's landscape is a dramatic tapestry. Towering cliffs draped in ice, forests standing silent and heavy with snow, and high mountain fields where the wind sculpts the drifts into ever-changing forms. Here, nature operates on a grand scale, governed by ancient rhythms of life and death. The land is vast, the silence profound, broken only by the distant call of a raven or the soft crunch of snow beneath cautious paws. In the warmer months, the park bursts into life. Vivid greens unfurl across the valleys, and rivers rush with the music of melting snow, nourishing every living thing. But as autumn's golden fire fades, a profound transformation begins. The air sharpens, the days shorten, and the land braces for the coming siege. Winter descends not as a gentle guest, but as a conquering monarch, sweeping across the land with blizzards that erase all colour and sound, draping the world in a thick white cloak. The once familiar terrain becomes a silent, frozen maze. Every step is a test of strength, every breath a small victory against the biting cold. The snow absorbs all noise, creating a world where even the smallest movement echoes in the stillness. The cold in Yellowstone is a formidable force, a living presence that seeps into every crevice and reshapes the very essence of existence. The wind howls across the plains, carrying with it the sting of ice and the promise of hardship. Temperatures plummet to unforgiving lows, and deep snow blankets the ground, burying the food sources that once sustained life. Only the hardiest plants and the most determined creatures endure. For the park's inhabitants, this is the great test. Each day is a struggle, each night a battle against the relentless cold and the ever-present hunger. The rivers and streams that once offered escape routes now become treacherous fields of ice, their surfaces concealing swift, icy currents below. The forests that provided cover now stand stark and open, their bare branches etched against the sky, offering little concealment from the watchful eyes of predators. Survival in this white desert is not guaranteed. It must be earned each day through strength, endurance, and an intimate knowledge of this harsh and beautiful land. Every creature is pushed to its limits, every instinct sharpened by necessity. Within this frozen expanse, a silent drama unfolds. Predators and prey move in a delicate dance, each step measured, each decision a matter of life or death. The park is home to over 60 species of mammals, each equipped with its own unique set of tools for enduring the long winter. Some grow thicker coats, others change colour, and all adapt in their own way to the relentless cold. From the smallest rodent burrowing deep beneath the snow, carving out secret passageways in the insulated underworld, to the largest bison, their shaggy coats rimed with frost, standing resolute against the wind, every creature is engaged in a daily battle against the elements, each step a testament to their resilience. The silence of the winter landscape is deceptive. It is filled with the quiet struggles of life, carrying on against the odds. Beneath the stillness, hearts beat with determination and hope. This is a time of scarcity, a time when the line between life and death is razor-thin, and the choices made by each animal will determine its fate. Hunger sharpens every sense, and the struggle for survival is unending. As the days slowly begin to lengthen, the first signs of spring offer a fragile promise of relief. The sun climbs higher and the snow softens, hinting at the renewal to come. The iron grip of winter starts to loosen, and the snow begins to melt, revealing the dormant earth beneath. Streams awaken, their icy silence broken by the gentle rush of water. This transition brings with it a period of renewal, as new life emerges and the landscape awakens from its long slumber. The air fills with the scent of damp earth and the promise of abundance. However, the arrival of spring does not signal an end to the challenges. The snow lingers in the shadows, and the struggle for survival continues. For many animals, this is a time of increased danger, as predators, themselves hungry from the long winter, become more active. The chase resumes, and the cycle of life presses on. The cycle of life in Yellowstone is continuous, a relentless saga of survival where every season brings its own trials and triumphs. In this land of stark beauty, the story of winter is written in snow and silence, in endurance and hope, and in the wild, untamed spirit of the creatures who call it home. In the heart of Yellowstone's northern range lies the Lamar Valley, a sweeping expanse that serves as the stage for one of nature's most compelling dramas. Here, winter is not just a season, it's a test of survival, demanding ingenuity and resilience from every creature that calls this land home. This is the domain of the Lamar Valley Wolf Pack, a highly organized and disciplined social unit. But they are not alone in their struggle. Bison, elk, foxes and coyotes each employ their own strategies to endure the relentless cold. The wolf pack is not merely a collection of individuals, it is a complex society where each member has a specific role and responsibility. Bison form tight-knit herds, using their collective strength to shield the young and weak from predators and the biting wind. Foxes conserve heat by curling into tight balls, their bushy tails acting as natural blankets. Numbering between 6 and 8 animals, the wolf pack moves as one, its actions guided by a deep instinctual understanding of cooperation. Elk, too, travel in single file, stepping in each other's tracks to conserve precious energy as they navigate the deep drifts. The wolves' greatest weapon is not their sharp teeth or powerful jaws, but their ability to work together, turning a group of hunters into a single, intelligent and formidable force that can overcome prey far larger than themselves. Coyotes, meanwhile, often hunt in pairs, using teamwork to flush out hidden rodents from beneath the snow. At the head of this intricate social structure is the alpha pair. Among bison, a matriarch often leads the herd, guiding them to the best foraging grounds and through the harshest storms. The alpha is not always the largest or strongest wolf in the pack, but the most experienced and wisest. In elk herds, vigilant bulls stand guard, scanning for threats and signaling the group at the first sign of danger. This leader is responsible for making the critical decisions that ensure the pack's survival, assessing risks, choosing hunting targets, and maintaining order within the ranks. Below the alpha, other wolves fill essential roles. Coyotes rely on acute hearing, tilting their heads to pinpoint the faintest rustle beneath the snow before launching a precise pounce. Some wolves are flankers, tasked with steering the prey, while foxes use their sensitive noses to detect the subtle movements of voles tunneling beneath the snow. Other wolves act as distractors, drawing attention away from the main attack. River otters, undeterred by the cold, slip into frigid waters to hunt for fish, their thick fur and playful energy keeping them warm and agile. The younger members of the wolf pack are the apprentices, observing and learning the complex tactics that have been passed down through generations. Preparing for the day they will take their place in the hunt. Bison calves, too, watch and imitate their elders, mastering the art of foraging beneath the snow. The wolves of Lamar Valley are a testament to the power of teamwork. Elk herds move as a single organism, responding instantly to the cues of their leaders to avoid danger. Wolves communicate through a subtle language of body postures, ear movements and tail positions, conveying complex information with remarkable efficiency. Bison, too, use grunts and body language to maintain cohesion and warn of threats. When wolves move across the snowy landscape, They often travel in single file, conserving energy by stepping in the tracks of the wolf in front. Elk employ the same strategy, following in each other's hoofprints to make travel easier for the entire herd. This discipline and unity are the cornerstones of their existence. Bison huddle together, presenting a wall of muscle and fur to the wind, sharing warmth and protection. In a world where a single mistake can mean the difference between a life-sustaining meal and starvation, their ability to function as a cohesive unit is what allows them to thrive in one of North America's most challenging environments. Foxes dig into the snow to create insulated dens, escaping the worst of the cold. Social bonds are forged not only in the heat of the hunt, but also in the quiet moments of pack life. Wolves play together and groom one another, while otters slide and tumble across the ice, strengthening their family ties. Packs and herds raise their young collectively. Wolves nurture their pups in the safety of the den, while bison adults encircle calves, shielding them from the cold and from predators. This constant reinforcement of social ties strengthens the group, creating a resilient and adaptable family unit. Elk mothers groom their calves, reinforcing the bonds that will help the herd survive. The survival of each individual is inextricably linked to the well-being of the group. Whether huddling for warmth or sharing the burden of vigilance, Yellowstone's animals depend on one another. It is this profound sense of community, this unwavering commitment to the group, that defines the winter warriors of Yellowstone. Wolves, bison, elk, foxes, coyotes, and otters alike. Their story is a powerful reminder that in the wild, strength is often found not in isolation, but in unity. A symphony of strategy played out against the stark beauty of Yellowstone's winter. In the heart of Yellowstone's winter, the Lamar Valley wolf pack moves with purpose. Each hunter masterclass in patience, power, and the silent language of survival. The ritual often begins at dawn, as the first pale light spills across the frozen peaks, awakening the valley's ancient contest between predator and prey. Wolves do not charge recklessly. Instead, they are the embodiment of patience, alert, calculating and attuned to every subtle shift in the landscape. Their hunt begins with hours of silent observation. The pack studies the herds, elk and bison, watching for the faintest sign of weakness, a limp, a lagging step, a moment's hesitation. They seek the vulnerable, the old, the young, the weary, those whose subtle cues betray their struggle against the winter's relentless grip. This is a battle of nerves, a silent standoff where every movement is measured, every breath a calculation. When a target is chosen, the pack shifts seamlessly into a coordinated force, each member attuned to the other's intent. Their power lies not just in strength but in unity, executing maneuvers that confuse, isolate and pressure their quarry. The wave-cutting technique is a favourite. Wolves surge at the herd in waves, sowing panic and forcing the animals to break formation. In the chaos, a single elk or bison may falter, separated from the safety of numbers. Each wolf assumes a role. Some drive the chase, others flank, cutting off escape, all working in silent synchrony. The lead wolf surges forward, setting the pace and direction, while others circle and flank, closing off every avenue of escape, driving the prey toward deep snow or steep hills, terrain where power shifts in favor of the pack. Yet not every hunt ends in triumph. The wild is a realm of resilience and adaptation. Prey animals, too, are masters of survival, forming defensive circles, standing their ground, or using the landscape to their advantage. In one tense encounter, the pack isolated a powerful elk, closing in with relentless determination. The chase was a test of endurance, wolves taking turns to exhaust their quarry, each pass a lesson in patience and power. But survival is a game of moments. The elk sensing its last chance, made a desperate, explosive dash. It plunged into the icy river, braving the current in a final bid for life. The wolves, wary of the frigid water, halted at the bank, instinct and experience telling them the risk was too great. They watched in silence as the elk escaped, a stark reminder that in this wild ballet, survival is never guaranteed. The wolves' restraint is as vital as their aggression. Each failed hunt a lesson, each retreat a calculation for future success. They do not mourn a lost meal, but learn, adapt, and conserve their strength for the next opportunity. The pack's survival depends on the well-being of every member. Injury or exhaustion could spell disaster for all. If the odds turn, they abandon the chase, waiting with infinite patience for the next subtle cue of weakness. This is not mindless predation, but a dance of intellect and instinct, each move shaped by the lessons of the wild. In the end, it is this blend of patience, power, and subtlety that defines the predator-prey dynamic, ensuring the wolves' reign endures through Yellowstone's harshest season. As winter gives way to the tentative warmth of spring, the wolf pack's focus shifts from the relentless pursuit of prey to a deeper, more intricate responsibility, nurturing and protecting the next generation. The den, carved into a secluded hillside, becomes the epicenter of the pack's world, a place where the most profound social bonds are forged and tested. Here, the alpha female gives birth to a litter of cubs, tiny, vulnerable lives that embody the future of the Lamar Valley lineage. The entire pack is bound by a shared purpose, the survival of these pups. This mission is not just instinct. It is a complex web of cooperation, communication, and emotional connection. The den site is chosen with meticulous care, offering concealment and a strategic vantage point to monitor for threats. The arrival of new life does not go unnoticed by other predators in the park. The scent of the den can attract unwelcome visitors, and the pack's vigilance is constant, maintained through a sophisticated system of communication. In one tense encounter, a large black bear, drawn by the scent of the cubs, approached the den. Instantly the pack responded as one, each member reading subtle cues in body language, posture and vocalizations. Led by the alpha, they formed a defensive arc, communicating intent and resolve through growls, tail positions and eye contact. Shoulder to shoulder, they became a living wall, each wolf attuned to the movements and emotions of the others. The mother wolf remained close to her cubs, her protective instincts heightened, her body language radiating both warning and reassurance. The rest of the pack held their ground, each member's position and posture reinforcing the collective defense. Their growls and bared teeth were not just threats, they were messages, signals of unity and determination. The confrontation became a silent negotiation, a test of will and social cohesion. Every glance, every shift in stance conveyed intent and emotion, fear, courage, and the unspoken promise of mutual support. The bear, formidable in its own right, was confronted by the unwavering solidarity of a united family. It tested the wolves' line, making tentative advances, but was met with a display of coordinated strength, each wolf responding to the other's signals, moving as one. The wolves did not need to attack. Their unity and communication alone were enough to deter the threat. Their goal was simple: to make the bear retreat, to protect their own. After a tense standoff, the bear, recognizing the pack's unbreakable front, turned and left. The wolves had triumphed, not through violence, but through the power of their social bonds. Their unity is reinforced through constant communication, howls, whines, nuzzles, and playful gestures that strengthen emotional ties. Every interaction, from grooming to play, is a thread in the fabric of the pack's social structure. The defense of the den is a shared responsibility. a duty that unites every member from the dominant alpha to the youngest yearlings. Yearlings learn by observing and participating, guided by subtle cues and encouragement from elders. Affectionate nuzzles and grooming reinforce trust and emotional bonds, reducing tension and fostering cooperation. The pups are raised by the entire family, with each adult contributing to their care and education. Adults take turns guarding the den, bringing food and teaching the young through play and gentle discipline. Play is more than entertainment. It is a vital form of communication, teaching social rules and strengthening emotional ties. This collective effort ensures the cubs have the best possible chance of survival, allowing the legacy of the Lamar Valley Pack to endure, built on a foundation of communication, cooperation, and deep emotional connection in the wild heart of Yellowstone. Across the sweeping, snow-laden plains of Yellowstone, ancient species endure, living testaments to a world shaped by ice, fire, and time. Among them, the bison stand as colossal relics of a prehistoric era, their presence echoing the age of mammoths and saber-toothed cats. Weighing up to 900 kilograms, bison are the largest land mammals in North America. Their immense size and powerful build are the result of millennia of adaptation, sculpted by the relentless forces of the plains. Their appearance is iconic. A massive head crowned with curved horns, a shaggy dark brown coat that thickens in winter, and a formidable hump of muscle over their shoulders. These features are mirrored in other ancient residents: the curled horns of bighorn sheep, the dense pelts of mountain goats, each a masterpiece of evolutionary design. Such physical forms are not merely for show. They are blueprints for survival, perfectly tailored to withstand Yellowstone's brutal winters and shifting seasons. The bison's primary defense against the biting cold is its incredible coat, a marvel of natural engineering. Similarly, mountain goats and bighorn sheep rely on dense insulating fur to weather the elements. These coats consist of two layers: a dense undercoat of fine, soft wool for insulation, and a top layer of long, coarse guard hairs that repel snow and wind. This dual-layered armour is a shared secret among Yellowstone's ancient grazers. So effective is this insulation that snow can accumulate on their backs without melting, a silent testament to the warmth locked within. To find food beneath the frozen crust, bison use their massive heads and powerful necks as living snowplows, sweeping aside drifts to reveal dormant grasses. Elk and pronghorn employ their own techniques, pawing and scraping to access the hidden bounty. These unique foraging strategies allow Yellowstone's ancient herbivores to tap into food sources unavailable to many others, ensuring their survival through the harshest months. The lives of these ancient species are governed by the rhythm of the seasons, each bringing its own challenges and rituals. Migration, carving, and the struggle for dominance are woven into the fabric of Yellowstone's wild tapestry. As spring approaches, a shift occurs. Herds grow restless, new life stirs, and the ancient cycle of renewal begins anew. The bulls, which have spent the winter in uneasy truce, begin to display their dominance in preparation for the mating season. Across the plains and mountains, rival males, bison, elk, and sheep, engage in dramatic contests of strength. These battles are fierce and thunderous, echoing across the land, ensuring that only the strongest pass on their ancient lineage. The collisions are brief but intense, a raw display of power and resilience honed over countless generations. These contests, though short, shape the future of the herds, ensuring the survival of the fittest in this ancient land. With the passing of the rut, attention turns to the next generation. Newborns emerge: bison calves, elk calves, pronghorn fawns, each a symbol of hope and continuity. From late April through June, the plains and valleys are dotted with young, their coats a vibrant contrast to the adults, their first steps tentative yet determined. These newborns, with their reddish hues, stand out against the landscape, a fleeting vulnerability in a world that demands swift adaptation. Remarkably, within hours calves can stand and soon after run with the herd, a vital adaptation in a land where danger is ever present. This rapid development is crucial for survival, as Yellowstone's ancient predators roam the same wild expanse. The young spend their earliest days playing and exploring under the vigilant eyes of their mothers, who stand as fierce guardians, ensuring the legacy of Yellowstone's ancients endures season after season in this timeless wilderness. In the heart of Yellowstone's frozen expanse, the bison herd stands as a living testament to the power of unity. Immense and powerful, these ancient animals are shaped by the relentless challenges of winter, where survival depends not on the strength of one, but on the collective will of many. The wolves, ever watchful, prowl the snowy edges of the herd, their yellow eyes searching for the faintest sign of weakness. For the bison, every day is a test, a silent contest of endurance and vigilance. When danger draws near, the herd does not break. Instead they gather, shoulder to shoulder, their breath steaming in the icy air, each animal attuned to the movements of its neighbours. With practiced precision, the bison form a defensive circle, a strategy honed over countless generations. This ancient choreography is performed without hesitation, each member knowing their place in the living shield. The herd tightens, the outer ring bristling with formidable horns, a wall of muscle and bone that few predators dare to challenge. Adult bison take their positions on the perimeter, horns angled outward, eyes fixed on the threat. Within this fortress, the vulnerable, calves and elders, are shielded from harm. The wolves hesitate, sensing the futility of a direct assault. The bison's unity is their greatest weapon, a living barrier that repels even the most determined hunters. In the heart of the circle, life continues. Calves nuzzle their mothers, elders rest, all cocooned in the safety of the herd's embrace. The wolves, wary and calculating, circle the herd, searching for a moment of weakness, a gap in the living wall. They employ tactics of harassment, pacing and probing, hoping to spark confusion or panic within the ranks. The herd remains steadfast, each bison drawing strength from the presence of the others, their formation unbroken. Occasionally the wolves succeed in stirring the herd, sending snow flying as the bison surge forward. But even in motion, the herd's cohesion is remarkable. Calves are flanked by adults, the group quickly regains its shape. Patience is the bison's ally. They will stand for hours, unmoving, their resolve as enduring as the winter itself. The standoff is a silent drama played out on the vast white stage of Yellowstone, neither side willing to yield, both shaped by the demands of survival. The wolves test the edges, darting in and out, but the bison hold firm, their unity unshaken. Shoulder to shoulder, the bison form a living wall, their stoic faces turned outward, each animal a vital link in the chain of survival. Sometimes a powerful bull will break from the line, charging at the wolves with thunderous force, a reminder that within the collective, individual courage still thrives. The standoff can stretch on, hour after hour, a contest of endurance and will beneath the pale winter sun. Through it all, the bison's greatest strength is their unity. Each animal is part of something larger, a living, breathing fortress. As long as the herd stands together, they are nearly invincible, their collective presence a force that even the most cunning predators struggle to overcome. Eventually the wolves retreat, their energy spent, the bison circle unbroken. Within the herd, bonds are reinforced, gentle nudges, shared warmth, the quiet communication of a society built on trust and cooperation. The bison's fortress is more than a defence. It is a symbol of their way of life, a testament to the strength found in unity and shared purpose. In the endless winter of Yellowstone, the bison herd endures together. Their unity is their shield, their daily life a quiet saga of survival, resilience, and the unbreakable bond of the wild. In the wilds of Yellowstone, vigilance is the difference between life and death. The elk, one of the park's most graceful and iconic residents, exemplify this constant state of alertness. As large members of the deer family, elk are a vital part of the ecosystem, serving as a primary food source for predators such as wolves and bears. This ever-present danger has shaped their extraordinary senses and survival instincts. The life of an elk is one of perpetual vigilance. Their survival depends on their ability to detect threats before they strike. Their large, mobile ears swivel independently, capturing the faintest rustle or snap in the undergrowth. Sensitive noses constantly sample the air, searching for the scent of predators. Their wide-set eyes provide a broad field of vision, allowing them to spot movement from almost any direction. Even while grazing, elk never fully relax. Their eyes scan the horizon, and their bodies remain poised to react at the slightest sign of danger. This heightened awareness is their first and most crucial line of defense, shared by many of Yellowstone's animals. Elk, like other prey species, are not passive. They are intelligent and resourceful, using the landscape to their advantage and employing a range of strategies to evade predators. Their primary defense is speed and stamina, but their instincts guide every move. An adult elk can reach speeds up to 45 miles per hour and maintain a steady pace over long distances, often outlasting their pursuers. When a wolf pack gives chase, the elk's survival depends on its ability to react instantly, running faster and longer than the hunters. Elk use their knowledge of the terrain, heading for dense forests or steep slopes where predators struggle to coordinate their attack. In moments of extreme desperation, their instincts and quick thinking can mean the difference between life and death. During one intense pursuit, a cornered elk made a split-second decision that showcased its survival instincts. With predators closing in, it leaped into the freezing, turbulent waters of a river, a risky but calculated move. The cold water threatened hypothermia, but the elk's instinct for survival outweighed the risk. The wolves, unwilling to brave the icy current, were forced to abandon the chase. The elk used the landscape as a shield, turning a natural barrier into an escape route, a testament to its ability to think under pressure. Beyond individual skills, elk and many other Yellowstone animals rely on the safety of the group. Traveling in herds provides more eyes, ears, and noses to detect threats. This collective vigilance is a powerful warning system. When one animal senses danger, a sharp bark, a sudden movement, or a change in posture instantly alerts the entire group, giving them precious seconds to react. In winter, herds often gather in lower valleys where snow is shallower and food is more accessible, further enhancing their collective security. This behavior not only conserves energy and warmth, but also strengthens their communal defense against predators. The vigilant animals of Yellowstone, from the elk to every creature that calls this wilderness home, are living proof that survival depends on sharp senses, constant alertness, and the instinct to work together in the face of danger. As the long, harsh winter finally loosens its icy grip on Yellowstone, the land awakens in a breathtaking transformation. Each day the sun climbs higher, its rays growing stronger, and its warmth breathes life back into the once frozen wilderness. Snow recedes, melting into rivulets that join together, swelling into rushing streams and powerful rivers, their lively roar replacing the deep silence of winter. The brown earth, hidden beneath snow for months, re-emerges, and with it the first green shoots of new grass push through the soil. This is the great thaw, a time of profound rebirth and renewal for all who call Yellowstone home. The air, once sharp with cold, now carries the scent of damp earth and the promise of new beginnings. For Yellowstone's wildlife, spring is a long-awaited reprieve from the relentless hardships of winter. Fresh, abundant vegetation carpets the meadows, providing a vital feast for the herbivores who endured the lean, frozen months. Bison and elk graze contentedly, replenishing the weight and strength lost to winter's scarcity. Their bodies grow stronger, fueled by the richness of new growth. Spring is also the season of new life. From late April through June, the plains and forests become a nursery, as female bison give birth to their reddish-brown calves, and elk cows deliver their delicate spotted fawns. These young animals, brimming with energy and curiosity, bring a sense of joy and hope to the awakening landscape, yet the abundance and new life of spring also bring renewed peril. The same lush meadows that nourish the grazers attract the watchful eyes of predators. Wolf packs, with hungry pups of their own to feed, become more active and daring in their hunts. The newborn calves and fawns, though quick to stand and run, are especially vulnerable, making them easy targets for skilled hunters. Mothers remain ever vigilant, their protective instincts sharpened as they guard their young from the ever-present threat of predators. The green meadows, though peaceful in appearance, are arenas of constant high-stakes drama. Grizzly bears, too, emerge from their long hibernation, hungry and formidable. They are drawn to the same fertile grounds as the wolves, often scavenging from wolf kills or attempting to hunt the young herbivores themselves. This creates a complex and competitive environment where predators clash over precious resources. A wolf pack that has just made a kill may soon face the challenge of a massive grizzly, leading to tense and sometimes violent confrontations. The great thaw is a double-edged sword, a time of abundance and new beginnings, but also a season of heightened danger and fierce competition. A vivid reminder that the cycle of survival in Yellowstone is unending, and every spring brings both hope and hazard for its wild inhabitants. As the seasons turn in Yellowstone, from the brutal cold of winter to the vibrant rebirth of spring, a powerful narrative unfolds, one that is written not in words but in the breath, the struggle and the silent endurance of its wild inhabitants. Here, every creature, wolf, bison, elk, plays a part in a grand, unending story. Their lives are woven together by the invisible threads of survival, each day a testament to the delicate balance that sustains this untamed wilderness. The wolves, moving as one through the snow, teach us the strength of unity. Their success is not born of a single leader, but of a pack, each member relying on the other, each step a coordinated dance of purpose and instinct. The bison, ancient and enduring, show us the power of community. When danger looms, they form a living fortress, their young sheltered at the heart of the herd. In their circle we see that true strength is not just muscle and might, but the will to stand together. The elk, nimble and alert, remind us that survival sometimes demands boldness and wit. The solitary leap into an icy river, the quick decision to break from the herd, the clever use of the land, these are acts of courage and adaptation, proof that the mind can be as sharp as the antler or the fang. In Yellowstone, the line between predator and prey is ever shifting. Wolves and elk, bison and blizzard, each locked in a dance as old as the land itself. There are no villains here, no heroes, only the relentless drive to endure, to find another dawn. The lessons of these winter warriors are etched in the snow and sung on the wind. They show us that survival is not a solitary pursuit, but a symphony of cooperation, resilience, and adaptation. It is the wolf's howl echoing across the valley, answered by the bison's steady march and the elk's silent watchfulness. It is the courage to face the storm, the wisdom to seek shelter, and the humility to accept the cycles of loss and renewal. In this wild theatre, strength is measured in many forms. The strong do not always win, and the clever do not always escape. But those who adapt, who learn from the land and from each other, are the ones who endure. The story of Yellowstone's winter warriors is a lesson in balance, between strength and strategy, between the individual and the group, between the fleeting moment and the eternal rhythm of nature. And so, as the sun rises over the frosted plains and the shadows of wolf, bison and elk stretch across the snow, the true meaning of survival is revealed. To live not just for oneself, but as part of a greater whole, to persist through hardship, to adapt, to endure, and to honour the wild spirit that binds all life in Yellowstone. In this land, untouched by human hand, the saga continues, an endless cycle of challenge and triumph, of life and death, of nature's enduring will. Gap 2S. As the last hues of twilight fade from the Yellowstone sky, a new world awakens beneath the winter stars. Blanketed in silence and frost, the landscape transforms, no longer the domain of the day's titans, but of those whose lives unfold in shadow. The darkness is alive with secrets, with the quiet stirrings of creatures rarely seen by the sun. Beneath the snow-laden branches, the red fox emerges, its russet fur almost glowing against the pale moonlight. With every careful step it listens, ears pricked for the faint rustle of a vole tunnelling beneath the icy crust. A sudden leap, a perfect arc, and the hunt is over in a heartbeat. For the fox, winter's night is a time of silent precision and solitary triumph. Elsewhere, the great horned owl perches on a frozen limb, its golden eyes unblinking, scanning the ground below. Wings spread in absolute silence, it glides through the starlit air, a phantom in the cold. The owl's world is painted in shadows and sound, its vision piercing the gloom, its flight a testament to the power of adaptation. Beneath the snow, a different drama unfolds. The tiny shrew, heartbeat racing, tunnels through hidden passageways, searching for seeds and insects to stave off the cold. Every breath is precious, every moment a battle against the chill. Life here is measured in inches and seconds, in the warmth of the earth and the promise of another dawn. In the distance, coyotes call, a chorus that echoes across the frozen valley. Their yips and howls weave a tapestry of communication, marking territory, seeking companionship and announcing their presence to the night. For these cunning survivors, darkness is an ally, concealing their movements as they search for prey or gather with the pack. The winter night is not empty, it is rich with unseen lives, with struggles and victories played out beneath the gaze of the stars. In this hidden realm, survival is a dance of senses sharpened by darkness, of instincts finely tuned to the rhythms of the night. Here, in the secret hours when most of Yellowstone sleeps, the nocturnal animals remind us that the wilderness never truly rests. Its heart beats on, quiet but unbroken, sustained by those who thrive when the world is still. As dawn approaches, the shadows recede. The fox returns to its den, the owl to its perch, the shrew to its burrow. Their stories, written in moonlight and silence, are a testament to the resilience and mystery of Yellowstone's winter nights, where every heartbeat, every footstep, is a triumph against the cold and the dark. Voiceover. As the sun rises once more over Yellowstone, the park's true complexity is revealed, not just in its dramatic hunts or nightly dramas, but in the invisible threads that bind every creature together. This is the intricate food web, a living tapestry where each life depends on another, and energy flows in a ceaseless, silent current. At its base, the grasses and wildflowers, fed by sunlight and nourished by ancient soils, are the quiet architects of survival. They fuel the grazing bison, elk and pronghorn, whose herds shape the very face of the land. Every mouthful of grass is a transfer of energy, stored from the summer sun and released in each powerful stride. But where there are grazers, there are always watchers. Wolves and mountain lions, Yellowstone's apex predators, follow the herds, their survival entwined with the fate of their prey. Each hunt is more than a contest of strength. It is an echo of the sun's energy, passed from grass to grazer to hunter. Even in failure, the chase shapes the herd, culling the weak and leaving the strong to thrive. Yet the story does not end with the kill. When predators feed, scavengers gather, the cunning coyotes, the patient ravens, the mighty grizzly bears. They wait for their turn at the feast, ensuring nothing is wasted. What remains nourishes smaller lives, beetles, maggots, even the soil itself, which in turn revives the grass, completing the circle. Every creature, from the tiniest vole to the soaring eagle, plays a part in this vast exchange. Each relies on the others, whether as predator, prey, or recycler. The balance is fragile. A single change ripples outward, affecting all. And so Yellowstone endures, not as a collection of solitary lives, but as a vast community bound by the flow of energy and the laws of nature. Here, survival is not just an individual struggle, but a shared narrative, one that connects every heartbeat, every breath, and every life to the next in an endless interwoven dance. Voiceover. As winter grips Yellowstone in its icy embrace, the world seems to slow, yet above the silent forests and frozen rivers, a different story unfolds, one written on the wings of birds. Against a backdrop of snow-laden branches and steel-grey skies, Yellowstone's avian inhabitants reveal astonishing adaptations in their quest to endure. Some, like the sandhill crane and the mountain bluebird, heed the ancient call of migration, tracing invisible highways across continents to warmer, more forgiving lands. Their departure is a promise. They will return with the thaw, carrying the memory of Yellowstone in every feather. But many remain, forging resilience in the heart of winter. The great grey owl listens intently, its facial disc funneling the faintest rustle of a vole beneath the snow. With a silent plunge it claims its prize, a master of the art of hunting unseen. Nearby, the hardy Clark's nutcracker stashes pine seeds in secret caches, its memory sharp enough to recall each hidden store, even beneath deep drifts. These seeds, saved for lean times, are lifelines through the coldest months. In the dense evergreens, chickadees flit and call, their small bodies puffed against the chill. They glean what insects remain and peck seeds from cones, their hearts beating fast to hold the cold at bay. Magpies and ravens, ever resourceful, scour the landscape for scraps, carrion left by wolves or morsels unearthed by the shifting snow. Their keen intelligence turns every challenge into opportunity. Nests, too, take new forms. Some birds hollow out tree cavities lined with feathers and moss, creating warm sanctuaries against the frost. Others, like the tiny golden-crowned kinglet, huddle together through the night, sharing precious warmth. Through each adaptation, migration, memory, ingenuity, and the simple act of endurance, Yellowstone's birds defy the season's silence. Their songs are softer now, but their presence is a testament to life's persistence. As the world waits for spring, these winged survivors remind us, even in the harshest winter, hope is never far away, carried on the wind and written in flight. Voiceover. Beneath Yellowstone's endless white, a secret world awakens, unseen yet teeming with life. While the surface lies silent and still, the snow forms a sheltering blanket, insulating the earth below and shaping an entire realm known as the Subnivean Zone. Here, in narrow tunnels carved between soil and snow, small mammals like voles, shrews and mice embark on their winter odyssey. The snow overhead muffles sound and traps warmth, holding the bitter cold at bay. Voles scurry along their hidden highways, pausing to nibble on roots and bark. Their tiny bodies leave intricate patterns, a living map that traces their nightly forays. Shrews, ever hungry, dart through this maze in search of insects and seeds, their rapid heartbeats echoing the urgency of survival. Even insects find refuge here. Snow fleas, minute dark specks, gather in clusters atop the snow, leaping with spring-loaded legs when disturbed. Beneath, beetle larvae and spiders lie dormant, waiting for the first touch of warmth to stir them from their winter slumber. For them, the snow is both shield and sanctuary, a fragile fortress against the predators and the cold. But danger is never far. The keen senses of predators, like weasels with bodies long and slender, allow them to slip into these tunnels, silent and swift, in search of their next meal. Every movement below the snow is a story of risk and resilience, of hunger and hope. The subnivean world is a testament to nature's boundless ingenuity. Here, life endures not in spite of the snow, but because of it. As winter rages above, a quiet persistence carries on below, reminding us that even in Yellowstone's harshest season, the pulse of life never truly fades. It simply finds new ways to thrive, hidden from view, waiting for the sun's return. Voiceover. In the heart of Yellowstone's frozen expanse, where snow drapes the land in silence, rivers and geothermal marvels pulse with life, a warm breath against winter's icy hold. Even as lakes freeze and meadows slumber beneath blankets of white, ribbons of water wind defiantly through the landscape, their surfaces swirling with mist, their banks alive with possibility. The rivers, fed by ancient springs and the restless heat below, remain unfrozen, their currents a sanctuary for all who depend on them. Here, otters slip between the ice and open water, their playful dives masking the seriousness of their quest. Fish linger in the warmer shallows, darting through sunlit eddies where the chill cannot reach. Along these corridors, bison and elk gather, drawn to the exposed grasses and unfrozen banks. Steam rises from geothermal pools, cloaking the air in a delicate haze. Birds, dippers and trumpeter swans find refuge here, their feathers ruffled by the warmth, their songs a rare melody in the winter stillness. Beneath the surface, microbes thrive in the mineral-rich waters, forming the foundation of food webs unseen. Even in the coldest months, geothermal warmth seeps through the earth, nurturing mosses and algae, painting the snow with unexpected colours, emerald, ochre and gold. Geysers erupt in sudden bursts, sending plumes skyward, a reminder that beneath Yellowstone's crust life is fueled by fire as much as frost. These hot springs and steam vents create islands of vitality, where insects emerge early and amphibians find shelter from the freeze. No footprints mark these places, only the delicate signatures of wildlife, drawn by the promise of warmth and sustenance. Here, the winter world softens, and the rhythm of survival beats strong. Rivers and geothermal wonders are Yellowstone's lifeblood, sustaining hope and life through the darkest, coldest days, until the sun's embrace returns to awaken the land once more. Voiceover. In the swirling hush of Yellowstone's winter, the land becomes a test, none more so than for the youngest lives just beginning their journey. Calves, pups and chicks, still unsteady on their feet or wings, face a world sculpted by cold and shadow. For these fragile newcomers, every step is a lesson in survival. Bison calves, born in the warmth of spring, now press close to their mothers, their breath mingling in the icy air. Each blizzard is a new trial, every drift of snow a wall to be crossed. Instinct guides them to the thermal rivers and windswept meadows where grazing is possible, but hunger is a constant companion. Elk fawns, their spots long faded, move quietly through the timber, learning the ancient ways of caution. The snap of a twig or the howl of a distant wolf sends them into frozen silence, hearts pounding beneath thickening coats. Wolf pups, once tumbled in playful abandon, now shadow the pack on lean, tireless hunts, their first attempts at teamwork clumsy but determined. Each failed chase, each hard-won meal, is a lesson etched in snow and bone. Trumpeter swan cygnets, downy feathers slick with mist, huddle together on steamy riverbanks. They practice stretching their wings, uncertain and awkward, while the cold nips at their resolve. The first winter strips away all illusion, revealing the young's resilience and vulnerability in equal measure. Some will falter, claimed by the cold or the hunger or the ever-watchful eyes of predators. But those who endure emerge stronger, shaped by the harshest teacher of all. In the hush of night, under the ghostly glow of the northern lights, Yellowstone's youngest dream of spring, a promise whispered beneath the snow. For them, every dawn is a small triumph, every surviving day a testament to the fierce will to live. Here, amid the wild and the cold, the next generation learns what it means to belong to this land, to face the winter and to hope for the sun's return. Voiceover. In the deep silence of Yellowstone's winter, survival is seldom a solitary struggle. Here, beneath the snow-laden boughs and across the frozen meadows, unexpected partnerships emerge, woven not from friendship, but from instinct, necessity, and the quiet wisdom of the wild. A coyote, lean and clever, trails distantly behind a pack of wolves. She keeps to the shadows, careful not to cross the invisible boundaries of the pack's claim. When the wolves bring down a bison or elk, their feast is boisterous and brief, but scraps remain. The coyote waits, patient and alert, until the pack's hunger is sated. Only then does she approach the bones, her gratitude measured in silent, cautious bites. In this cold theatre, her survival hinges on the wolves' excess, a delicate dance of risk and reward. High above, ravens circle and swoop, their dark wings stark against the white expanse. They are the unheralded heralds of opportunity, their sharp eyes scanning for both predator and prey. When a carcass is found, ravens descend first, their raspy calls drawing coyotes and foxes from the timber. In return, these ground hunters tear open thick hides the birds cannot breach alone, ensuring that nothing goes to waste. It is a quiet collaboration, one born from centuries of shared winters. On the riverbanks, otters and muskrats coexist in uneasy harmony. The otters, playful and curious, slip through icy water in search of fish, while muskrats tunnel beneath the snow to their lodges. When a muskrat's den is breached by the cold, an otter's abandoned burrow may offer life-saving shelter. Their paths cross in the twilight hours, each aware of the other, but bound by a mutual need for warmth and refuge. Even the bison, those ancient giants, become unwitting benefactors. As they plough through drifts in search of buried grasses, they expose seeds and insects that small birds like chickadees and rosy finches quickly gather. In the wake of the bison's labour, these birds find sustenance in the bleakest months, their delicate wings fluttering in gratitude. These alliances are not born of trust, nor are they free of tension. Each species weighs the risk, measures the gain, and adapts in kind. Through these subtle interactions, Yellowstone's winter reveals a deeper truth. In the struggle for survival, the boundaries between hunter and scavenger, rival and ally, grow thin. Here, cooperation is as vital as competition, and the fate of one often entwines with the fate of another. As the snow continues to fall, these fleeting partnerships shine like rare gems, a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of the wild. In the heart of winter, Yellowstone's creatures remind us sometimes survival is a shared endeavour, written in tracks across the snow. Voiceover. In Yellowstone's realm, the rules of survival shift with the wind, and sometimes the sky itself becomes the greatest adversary. Extreme weather events, sudden blizzards, ice storms, and bone-chilling cold snaps sweep across the land with little warning, testing every living creature's strength and adaptability. A blizzard descends like a living shroud, blotting out the sun and muffling the world in relentless white. Elk and deer, caught far from shelter, press tightly together, their bodies forming a living barrier against the biting wind. Each breath is a plume of frost, every movement a battle against exhaustion. Beneath the snow, voles and shrews tunnel frantically, their labyrinths collapsing as drifts pile higher, forcing them to seek new paths or perish in the cold silence. On the plains, bison lower their massive heads, swinging them side to side to carve through snowdrifts in search of frozen grasses. The effort saps precious energy, and calves, still learning the ways of winter, struggle to keep pace, their small bodies vulnerable to the elements and lurking predators. Wolves sense opportunity in the storm. Their thick coats and tireless endurance give them the edge as prey falters. Packs move with purpose, their howls echoing through the swirling snow, marking both territory and intent. Yet, even for these apex hunters, a storm is a double-edged sword. Prey is harder to find, and the cold punishes any creature that lingers too long in the open. Overhead, raptors cling to bare branches, feathers ruffled against the icy blast. Hunting becomes perilous when every wing beat is a struggle, and the snow hides the scurrying of mice and rabbits below. Some birds, unable to find food, hunker down in sheltered hollows, waiting out the tempest with hope and hunger. Along rivers and geothermal springs, a different drama unfolds. As temperatures plunge, the warmth of heated waters draws animals from miles around, otters, waterfowl, and even wary foxes. Here, life clusters in fragile oases, but competition is fierce, and the thin line between survival and starvation grows ever thinner. When the storm finally breaks, Yellowstone is transformed. The survivors emerge, hungry, battered, but alive. Tracks crisscross the pristine snow, silent stories of those who endured and those who did not. The land itself bears witness to nature's ferocity and the unyielding will of its wild inhabitants. In these moments, the true character of Yellowstone's wildlife is revealed, not just in their strength, but in their resilience, adaptability, and the quiet courage it takes to face the fury of the elements. For here every storm is a reckoning, and every survivor is a testament to the relentless, untamed spirit of the wild. A voiceover. As winter loosens its icy grip, Yellowstone's plant life begins a quiet transformation, setting the stage for the next act of survival. Beneath blankets of snow, the first green shoots of grasses and wildflowers pierce the crust, drawn upward by lengthening days and the promise of warmth. This subtle awakening is the heartbeat of the ecosystem, a signal to every creature that the cycle of renewal has begun. Willows and aspens unfurl their buds, their tender leaves rich in nutrients for browsing elk and moose, weakened by months of scarcity. Bison, their coats still shaggy from winter, graze hungrily on the emerging grasses, replenishing reserves spent in the storms. The meadows, once barren and silent, become vibrant with colour and movement. Ground squirrels scurry through new growth, while pronghorns nibble the freshest shoots. In the forests, lodgepole pines stand sentinel, their needles catching the first rays of spring sunlight. Fallen branches and decomposing logs, softened by winter's moisture, nurture a tapestry of mosses and fungi. These hidden layers break down the old, returning vital nutrients to the soil and feeding the roots of the next generation. As summer arrives, Yellowstone's plant life explodes in a brief but brilliant flourish. Lupines, paintbrush, and arrowleaf balsam root create a mosaic of colour, attracting bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. Each blossom is a beacon sustaining pollinators that in turn support the fruit and seed crops relied upon by small mammals and birds. Autumn brings a final transformation. Grasses turn gold and the forests shimmer with the fiery hues of aspen and cottonwood leaves. Seeds and berries ripen, offering a last bounty before the cold returns. Bears gorge on this abundance, building fat reserves for hibernation. Squirrels and jays cache pine nuts and acorns, preparing for the lean months ahead. Throughout every season, Yellowstone's plants are more than scenery. They are lifelines, sustaining herbivores and, through them, the carnivores that follow. Their cycles of growth and dormancy are woven into the survival strategies of every animal, from the tiniest vole to the mightiest bear. In this timeless dance, the land's resilience is revealed not just in the animals that roam it, but in the silent, steadfast endurance of the plants that feed, shelter and sustain all life in Yellowstone. Voiceover. Across Yellowstone, resilience is not a single trait, but a living tapestry, stitched by countless lives, adapting in harmony and conflict. Every blade of grass that braves the thaw, every wolf that learns the patterns of the herds, every bear that times its feast to the ripening berry, all are part of a grand, ongoing experiment in survival. Here change is the only constant. Fire sweeps through ancient forests, clearing space for young saplings. Floods reshape riverbanks, carving new channels for trout to spawn. Droughts test the resolve of every creature, yet out of hardship, new strategies are born. In this wild laboratory, adaptation is not just a response, it is a legacy passed through generations. Elk calves learn to hide in the tall grasses, fox kits practice their pounce in the safety of the den, and trees send roots deep to find hidden water. Each species, from the smallest insect to the great grizzly, has a role to play, sometimes in competition, sometimes in quiet cooperation. The seasons, relentless and cyclical, demand flexibility. Winter's harshness forges endurance, while summer's abundance sparks fierce competition and rapid growth. As autumn's golden light fades, Yellowstone prepares once more for the long, cold night, its inhabitants shaped by the trials and triumphs of the year. There are no guarantees, only the promise that life will find a way. Through fire and frost, feast and famine, Yellowstone endures. Its rivers continue to flow, its forests to grow, and its creatures to adapt in ways both ancient and new. In the heart of this untamed land, resilience is not merely survival. It is the courage to change, the wisdom to adapt, and the strength to carry on. Yellowstone's spirit endures, unbroken, a living testament to the power and beauty of nature's eternal dance.